one of the legs of the trip, I insisted that we go visit Ramallah, and we go visit the tomb of Yasser Arafat. So you drive in Ramallah, and you're driving along, and you pass through security, which was heavy, very heavy. Pass through security, and you're driving along, and there's a little turnabout. And in the center of the turnabout, it's Nelson Mandela.
Yeah.
A huge statue. I mean, it must have been 30 feet tall. Huge statue of Nelson Mandela.
He's a major supporter of the Palestinian cause.
Major supporter, and all of the United Methodist Christian eyelids opened wide, and Nelson Mandela. So then I explained to them what that meant. We drove a few in through the neighborhoods. So our tour guide was Syrian Christian. Our bus was from China. You had a bunch of United States United Methodist Christians, and our bus driver was Muslim. Our bus driver always stayed on the bus and always moved folks around. As you know, you've done these tourist gigs. You know, they're always moving buses around to make room for other folks, and he was great. So he always stayed on the bus. So, and I'm always the last one off the bus just to make sure that everybody can get down and prepare everybody and follow the tour guide. So I prepared to get off, and our bus driver stands up and he walks off the bus. And so I thought, oh, that's interesting. He's walking off the bus. He may need a stretch break. It's been a difficult ride, or security was heavy, or whatever else. And so I'm thinking it's something, a mental, got to get back in the zone kind of thing. It's a coffee break. So I see him, and he begins to speed up his walking past me. And we make it to the tomb of Yasser Arafat. And he takes off his hat and puts it over his heart and begins to weep. And so I stood by him, and I took his arm. I just linked arms with him. Just in that moment, it was a pastoral response, and he clutched his arm into mine as if to hold me close.
Wow.
And he said, it's been my dream. It's been my dream to visit here. And I want to thank you for bringing me.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but in my life, there are very few sacred moments like that, where the recognition of our common humanness, of seeing something that you thought you'd never see, of understanding that it may take a United States, United Methodist Christian, in all of my faultiness and silliness and all that I have, he may have to lean on this imperfect person to see a dream come true.
Wow.
For me, Omar, this is a story of faith. This relationship may be all we have.
Right.
And this moment is what we have.
Right.
The viewers of this video, in this very moment, this may be their moment to see and sense what it may look like for them to embrace those around them that seem imperfect or strangers or estranged or distant. Maybe it's a time to reformat and reframe and recollect ourselves, not because of the differences we share in theology, not because of a different language, but because we all want to have meaning in this life. And that meaning is made when we can stand arm in arm together and squeeze each other tight while one or another of us is experiencing a dream.
Right. Or a nightmare, unfortunately.
Or a nightmare. Absolutely.
Which, unfortunately, it's been the nightmares that have driven us together arm in arm more often.
Absolutely.
There have been so many of those.